Hello, friend. So glad you're here tonight. Get comfortable, pull the covers up, and let the day loosen its grip. There's nowhere else you need to be. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe and tap the like button on tonight's video. Both are free, they take 2 seconds, and they help this channel more than you'd think. And you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. Tonight is a slow drift through the real story of Middle Ages, one true thing at a time. There is nothing to do here and nothing to remember. Each one will pass like a slow cloud, some familiar, some quietly surprising, all of them real. If you fall asleep somewhere in the middle, that is exactly how this is meant to work. Settle in, let your breathing slow down, and we will begin. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. Charlemagne was crowned Holy Roman Emperor in 800 AD, a pivotal moment that reshaped the political landscape of Europe. This coronation took place in St. Peter's Basilica, where the Pope Leo III placed the imperial crown upon Charlemagne's head. The ceremony marked a new era as Charlemagne united many kingdoms under his rule. The title, Holy Roman Emperor, signified the union of secular and spiritual power, a symbolic gesture that aimed to bring stability and strength to the continent. Scholars have studied this event through ancient texts and artifacts, providing insights into the rituals and significance of the coronation. The crown itself, now lost to history, was likely a splendid piece of craftsmanship, adorned with precious stones and metals. This act formalized Charlemagne's authority, cementing his legacy as one of the most influential leaders in medieval Europe. The coronation symbolized the Church's acknowledgement of Charlemagne's power, marking a shift from the previous Byzantine Empire. This consolidation of authority helped establish a framework for future European monarchies. Historical accounts, such as those by Einhard and the Royal Frankish Annals, detail the ceremony's procession and attendees, providing a glimpse into its magnitude. The event's impact echoed through subsequent generations, influencing political structures and religious practices across Europe. The coronation served as a public declaration of Charlemagne's supremacy over other European rulers, asserting his dominance and legitimizing his reign. This coronation was a strategic move to secure the support of the Catholic Church, vital for maintaining power in medieval Europe. The event was meticulously planned, with every detail carrying symbolic weight to convey Charlemagne's divine right to rule. Historical analyses suggest that the choice of St. Peter's Basilica was deliberate, aiming to associate Charlemagne with the apostolic succession and solidify his position as a chosen leader. During the Middle Ages, European scholars translated many Greek and Arabic texts into Latin. This process facilitated the spread of scientific knowledge throughout Europe. Texts that were once written in languages foreign to most Europeans became accessible in Latin. Scholars diligently read and studied these translations, absorbing the wisdom they contained. The translation effort required patience and skill, as the scholars carefully converted one language into another. Through this work, scientific ideas that might have remained isolated within their original cultures were shared widely across Europe. Scholars laboriously copied and recopied these texts by hand, ensuring their preservation and dissemination. The translations were often imperfect, necessitating painstaking scrutiny to decipher meanings accurately. Through regular correspondence and gatherings, scholars exchanged insights derived from the translated works. This collective endeavor enabled Europeans to build upon existing knowledge and innovate in various scientific disciplines. The translations bridged cultural gaps, allowing ideas to travel from the east and south to the north. Scholars in monasteries and universities dedicated themselves to this task, poring over ancient manuscripts with diligent care. they often collaborated, comparing notes and debating interpretations to deepen their understanding. These translated texts became cornerstones of European libraries, influencing generations of scholars and thinkers. The act of translating and studying these texts broadened the scope of European thought. By interpreting and understanding ancient wisdom, scholars could apply it to contemporary challenges. This process helped Europeans grasp complex ideas in astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. Through detailed analysis and interpretation, scholars uncovered nuances that expanded their intellectual horizons. The period between 476 AD and 1500 AD is known as the Middle Ages, divided into early, high, and late. Scholars of the time were deeply interested in logic and metaphysics, a trend that continued through the late Middle Ages. The Byzantine Empire saw a resurgence during this era. New kingdoms began to rise across the lands. Intellectual pursuits revolved around logical reasoning and philosophical inquiries into the nature of reality. These studies were known as scholasticism, with scholars delving deeply into texts and ideas. The late Middle Ages was a time of both intellectual vigor and political shifts. People studied ancient works, seeking to understand the fundamentals of existence. This era saw not only a continuation of old traditions, but also a revival of ancient power structures. Scholars of this time would gather in monasteries and universities, debating and writing about these topics extensively. They believed that logic could bring them closer to divine truths. This period also witnessed a growth in manuscript production, enabling wider access to ancient texts and ideas. Scribes meticulously copied texts by hand, ensuring their preservation and dissemination across generations. This dedication to textual accuracy allowed for the careful study of classical philosophers such as Aristotle and Plato. By poring over these ancient works, scholars sought to reconcile human logic with divine revelations, aiming to harmonize faith and reason in their quest for knowledge. This approach allowed for a deeper analysis of the interplay between faith and intellect. Scribes ensured that each copy was as accurate as the last, preserving the original thoughts intact over centuries. The pursuit of these ideas fostered an atmosphere of continual inquiry and discussion among scholars. Through their diligent efforts, they unveiled new perspectives on ancient wisdom, making it relevant to their contemporary world. During the early Middle Ages, 476–1000 AD, scientific knowledge was largely preserved through monastic communities. These communities formed new societies in the wake of Rome's fall, becoming centers of learning where knowledge could be protected and passed down. The Byzantine Empire, a remnant of the Roman world, also played a significant role in this preservation effort. Within these monasteries, scribes painstakingly copied ancient texts, keeping the wisdom of earlier civilizations alive despite the chaos around them. The quiet halls echoed with the sounds of ink meeting parchment, as monks dedicated their lives to safeguarding human knowledge from oblivion. Over time, these humble outposts of learning became vital repositories for the intellectual heritage of humanity. In these halls of learning, the monks not only copied texts, but also studied them, ensuring that understanding was passed along with the words. They chose which works to preserve based on their relevance and significance. This work required dedication and patience, as many texts were lengthy and complex. Over generations, this commitment to preservation fostered a deep respect for knowledge among these communities. In this way, entire libraries of ancient thought were rescued from the decay of time. The monks created meticulous catalogues to organize their collections and facilitate access for scholars. To further aid comprehension, they sometimes annotated texts with their own insights or translations into different languages. Through these diligent efforts, a fragile thread of knowledge was maintained across the centuries. These meticulous tasks were often performed in dimly lit scriptoria, with monks bent over desks illuminated by flickering candles. Their diligence ensured that even the smallest details of a text were not lost. This dedication to accuracy extended beyond mere copying. It included careful attention to the layout and illustrations of manuscripts. They recognized the importance of visual elements in conveying meaning and enhancing understanding. The High Middle Ages, spanning from 1000 to 1300 AD, witnessed a renewed interest in natural philosophy and the sciences. This period saw significant strides in fields like astronomy and optics, where scholars studied the movements of celestial bodies and the behavior of light. Universities began to emerge across Europe during this time, fostering an environment for intellectual growth. State power also grew, leading to the development of intricate bureaucracies that supported these scholarly endeavours. As a result, there was a resurgence in scientific thinking, with scholars delving deeper into the workings of the natural world around them. Learning was no longer confined to monasteries, cities became hubs of knowledge exchange. Scholars translated and preserved ancient texts from Greek, Arabic, and Latin. They observed nature through experiments and mathematical models. Manuscripts were meticulously copied by hand, ensuring the spread of ideas. The dissemination of ideas across cities facilitated the collective advancement of knowledge. The translation and study of ancient texts provided a solid foundation for new discoveries. Scholars' curiosity led them to scrutinize natural phenomena, uncovering patterns and relationships. This empirical approach to learning marked a significant shift in scientific methodology. This revival of learning encouraged the questioning of long-held beliefs and the pursuit of evidence-based explanations. Scholars collaborated on projects, sharing observations and insights to refine their understanding of the world. New technologies like the printing press eventually facilitated the rapid spread of information. The application of new knowledge led to advancements in fields such as medicine and navigation. Roger Bacon's Opus Medusae indeed covered a wide range of subjects including mathematics, optics, astronomy, alchemy, and experimental science. This vast tome was not merely an academic exercise, it reflected the intellectual curiosity of its time, exploring the natural world through observation and experimentation. Its pages discussed the behavior of light, the movement of celestial bodies, and the transformation of matter, all captured in intricate detail. The work's significance lies in its attempt to unify these disparate fields under a single scientific framework, demonstrating the interconnectedness of nature's phenomena. Through meticulous study and patient observation, Bacon sought to unlock the secrets of the universe, one experiment at a time. Bacon's approach emphasized the importance of direct observation over theoretical speculation, a practice that would become fundamental to the scientific method. His writings documented numerous experiments and their results, providing empirical evidence for his theories. This experimental approach allowed Bacon to challenge existing beliefs and propose new hypotheses about the natural world. The Opus Medusae also outlined methods of experimentation, setting a precedent for future scientists to build upon. Bacon's work paved the way for future scientists to conduct empirical investigations into nature's mysteries. It emphasized the value of systematic observation and measurement. His methodology underscored the importance of repeating experiments to validate results. This approach fostered a growing body of reliable knowledge about the universe. The Opus Medusae highlighted the necessity of verifying observations through multiple experiments to ensure their accuracy and reliability. Bacon believed that understanding nature required careful study and documentation, laying a foundation for modern scientific research. His experimental methods involve controlled conditions and detailed record-keeping, establishing standards for future investigations. This systematic approach enabled Bacon to distinguish between valid observations and mere speculation. Astronomy was indeed part of the quadrivium, studied by all university students in the Middle Ages. The night sky held a particular fascination for these scholars. They observed celestial bodies with careful eyes, recording their movements in intricate journals. These journals were filled with precise notations, documenting the paths of stars and planets across the heavens. The universities of the time boasted impressive libraries where such knowledge was compiled and shared among students. Scholars pondered over these celestial observations, seeking to understand the rhythmic patterns that governed the sky above. The celestial bodies' paths were plotted meticulously by hand on parchment using ink and quills. Observations were made from designated spots on university grounds, often atop towers or within courtyards. Scholars compared their observations with those from previous years, looking for consistency and change. The compiled journals became invaluable references for future students, guiding their own studies of the cosmos. The careful tracking of celestial bodies helped scholars predict eclipses and solstices. This understanding of the heavens was seen as essential for navigating both spiritual and temporal paths. Scholars often consulted ancient texts, comparing them with their own findings. They also developed mathematical models to represent their observations. These mathematical models allowed scholars to calculate the positions of celestial bodies at any given time. This knowledge was crucial for determining auspicious dates and times for important events. Scholars used simple tools like astrolabes to make these calculations more precise. They also observed how the night sky changed throughout the seasons, deepening their understanding of the cosmos. The Renaissance period indeed saw an increase in trade and exploration, sparking the Age of Discovery. As merchants and explorers ventured forth, they traversed vast oceans once considered impassable. Ports bustled with activity as ships laden with spices, silks, and precious metals docked, bringing wealth and new ideas. Maps were drawn, detailing the contours of newly discovered lands. The exchange of goods and knowledge fostered a sense of curiosity that spread across Europe. Over time, this era of discovery reshaped not only geographical understanding, but also cultural and intellectual landscapes. Scholars pored over ancient texts, rediscovering lost wisdom. Artists captured the spirit of the age in vibrant paintings and sculptures, reflecting a world now alive with possibilities. The newly acquired knowledge fueled advancements in science and technology as innovators tinkered with inventions inspired by foreign marvels. Mariners charted safe passages across treacherous waters, while cartographers refined their techniques for accurately depicting the world. Scholars translated texts into common languages, making knowledge accessible to a wider audience. Meanwhile, merchants established trading posts in distant lands, creating permanent links between cultures. These voyages introduced Europeans to diverse ecosystems and climates, leading to the cultivation of exotic plants like tomatoes and potatoes. The influx of foreign goods stimulated local industries as craftsmen learned to produce similar items. Exposure to different belief systems and philosophies broadened religious views and challenged traditional doctrines. Through this exchange, Europeans also encountered new medical practices, such as the use of herbs for healing. Mariners relied on celestial navigation to cross uncharted seas. They observed stars and planets to determine their location at night. By day, they used the sun's position to calculate their course. This method required careful observation and mathematical skills. The Middle Ages in Europe began with the collapse of Roman civilization in the 5th century CE. This marked an end to the unified government and military might that Rome had provided for centuries, leaving behind a fragmented landscape of smaller kingdoms and territories. The fall of the Western Roman Empire signaled a shift from a centralized power structure to local governance, often ruled by nobles and feudal lords. Without the stability of Rome, cities were left vulnerable to invasions, leading to many being abandoned or destroyed. The once thriving trade routes became unsafe, causing economic decline across Europe. Historians trace this transition through artifacts and written records that detail the deterioration of Roman infrastructure and the rise of new cultural influences. In the absence of Rome's central authority, regional dialects and customs began to emerge, replacing Latin as the common language. Surviving villages relied on self-sufficiency, cultivating their own food and crafting tools from local materials. Archaeological evidence shows a shift in architecture, with simple wooden structures replacing grand Roman buildings. The period's literature reflects this change, featuring local legends and folktales instead of classical themes. As a result, knowledge and technology spread slowly, often limited to local communities. Many monks in monasteries became guardians of learning, copying manuscripts by hand. This led to the development of regional artistic styles, as artisans adapted their work to local tastes and materials. Meanwhile, oral storytelling became prevalent, passed down through generations in rural areas. The changes in daily life were evident in the types of pottery and tools found in archaeological sites, reflecting simpler, more practical designs. The Middle Ages traditionally spans from around 500 to 1400–1500 CE, encompassing a significant portion of human history. This period, also known as the medieval era, is defined by its historical context and societal changes. The beginning of the Middle Ages is marked by the fall of the Western Roman Empire, signaling a shift in political and social structures. Over time, this era saw the rise of feudalism, the growth of religious institutions, and advancements in agricultural practices. Historians have determined these dates through extensive research into historical documents, artifacts, and cultural developments. This knowledge helps us understand the evolution of human civilization over 1,000 years. This era is often referred to as the Dark Ages, due to the lack of surviving literature and art from this time. Archaeological findings have revealed insights into daily life during the Middle Ages, providing a glimpse into how people lived, worked, and interacted with each other. Manuscripts preserved in monasteries offer a wealth of information about medieval society, its beliefs, and practices. These texts were often hand-copied by monks, ensuring their knowledge was passed down through generations. These manuscripts serve as primary sources for comprehending the Middle Ages. They detail daily routines, customs, and significant events. Archaeologists also unearth tools and structures, offering tangible evidence of medieval life. The study of these artifacts and texts allows historians to reconstruct the past with precision. These handwritten documents provide a first-hand account of medieval life, preserving stories and traditions that might otherwise have been lost. The careful transcription of these manuscripts was a labor-intensive process, undertaken with great care by trained scribes. This meticulous copying ensured the preservation of knowledge across centuries, allowing modern historians to analyze original sources. Through this detailed examination, we can gain insights into the everyday experiences and cultural norms of people living during the Middle Ages. Artistic and architectural developments were significant during the Middle Ages, with Gothic architecture emerging as a prominent style. This period witnessed the rise of cathedrals and churches featuring tall, narrow windows that allowed light to stream in, creating an ethereal atmosphere. The use of pointed arches and ribbed vaults enabled builders to construct taller, more expansive structures, which had previously been impossible. These architectural advancements were not merely aesthetic, they also served functional purposes, such as supporting the weight of heavy roofs and allowing for larger, open spaces within buildings. The Gothic style was characterized by its intricate details, including ornate carvings and sculptures that adorned both the interiors and exteriors of structures. As craftsmanship evolved, so did the techniques used in stone masonry, leading to more refined and precise workmanship. This era also saw the development of stained glass windows, which added vibrant colors and religious symbolism to the architectural landscape. Over time, these innovations spread across Europe, leaving a lasting impact on the cultural heritage of many regions. The pointed arches of Gothic architecture allowed for a more even distribution of weight, reducing the strain on supporting walls. Ribbed vaults created a network of intersecting arches that reinforced each other, enhancing structural stability. This knowledge was shared through apprenticeships and masons' lodges, where skilled workers taught their craft to the next generation. The intricate details of Gothic architecture reflected the religious beliefs and cultural values of medieval society. The pointed arches and ribbed vaults of Gothic architecture created a web-like framework that redirected weight downward, reducing the load on walls. This structural design was influenced by the desire for taller, more open spaces within churches and cathedrals. Craftsmen experimented with various arch shapes and vault designs to achieve this effect, learning from both successes and failures. Over time, these techniques became standardized and taught to apprentices, ensuring consistency in Gothic architectural practices. Economic life during this period included the rise of banking and commerce in Italy, particularly in cities like Florence and Venice. In these bustling hubs, merchants exchanged goods from distant lands, their voices echoing in grand markets. Coins clinked on marble counters as deals were struck, while ledgers filled with careful entries recorded every transaction. The city streets hummed with the sounds of wheels turning on cobblestones, carts carrying precious commodities to eager customers. The scent of exotic spices wafted through the air, carried by breezes from far-off continents. Over time, these cities became known for their financial prowess, attracting traders and entrepreneurs from all corners of Europe. Their wealth facilitated investment in art and architecture, creating a visual legacy of their economic power. Markets expanded into labyrinthine structures, reflecting the complexities of their transactions. Trade agreements multiplied, formalizing relationships with foreign territories. This period also witnessed the advent of double-entry bookkeeping, revolutionizing how wealth was tracked and managed. Merchants meticulously recorded their deals in large books, ensuring accuracy and preventing disputes. Accounting methods evolved to handle the increasing volume of transactions. New techniques for calculating profit and loss emerged, enabling merchants to make informed decisions. The influence of these financial innovations spread across Europe, transforming how business was conducted. In these ledgers, merchants noted every sale and purchase, maintaining a meticulous record of their financial dealings. This method of accounting provided a clear view of the state of affairs, allowing business owners to understand their standing at any given time. The systematic approach to tracking finances ensured that no transaction went unnoticed, instilling confidence in both the merchant and their clients. The intricate detailing of financial activities set a precedent for transparency in commerce, paving the way for modern accounting practices. The title, the Middle, indeed refers to the Middle Ages, a time between the Roman Empire and our present day. This era spanned many centuries, from the fall of Rome in the 5th century to around the 15th century. It is known for significant changes in European society, culture, and technology. The term Middle Ages was coined by historians much later, in the 18th century, as a way to categorize this transitional period in history. This time saw the growth of feudalism, the rise of castles, and developments in agriculture that shaped the landscape. Many historical records from this era have helped scholars piece together the events and daily life during these centuries. The era is also marked by advancements in religious institutions and the spread of Christianity throughout Europe. Manuscripts from monasteries offer detailed insights into medieval life, while architectural remains provide tangible evidence of societal changes during this period. The evolution of languages, such as the emergence of modern French and English, reflects the cultural shifts that occurred. Archaeological findings further validate historical accounts, revealing everyday artifacts and structures that bring the Middle Ages to life. The Middle Ages witnessed the establishment of universities, fostering learning and scholarly pursuits. The preserved texts from these institutions offer glimpses into academic life during that time. The study of medieval artifacts unveils intricate craftsmanship techniques used in pottery, metalwork, and textiles, showcasing the era's technical proficiency. The analysis of medieval manuscripts reveals advancements in writing materials and methods, reflecting a growing demand for documentation. In 2014, DJ Snake released a song titled Middle, featuring Bipolar Sunshine. This electronic dance track entered the music scene, becoming instantly recognizable with its unique blend of synthesized beats and soulful vocals. The song's release was marked by a digital distribution strategy, allowing it to reach audiences worldwide almost instantaneously. The collaboration between DJ Snake and Bipolar Sunshine brought together different musical influences, creating a fresh sound that resonated with listeners. The track gained popularity through various music platforms, with its catchy melody making it a favorite in clubs and on playlists. As the song continued to rise in the charts, it solidified DJ Snake's position as an influential figure in electronic dance music. Over time, Middle became a staple of the 2014 musical landscape, etching itself into the memories of listeners with its enduring appeal. The song's global accessibility was facilitated by digital platforms that transcended geographical barriers, making it a universal anthem. Its synthesized beats and vocals intertwined seamlessly, creating a harmonious fusion of electronic and soulful elements. The track's popularity was indicative of the shift towards digital music consumption, demonstrating the power of online distribution channels. The song's wide reach can be attributed to its presence on various online music services and social media platforms. This global availability ensured that fans from diverse backgrounds could easily discover and enjoy the track. The seamless blend of electronic and soulful elements in Middle highlighted a trend in modern music production, favoring collaborative efforts across genres. Through consistent streaming and sharing, listeners around the world became familiar with the song, cementing its lasting impact on the global music scene. Middle is a subdivision of the Isle of Man, specifically its central region. This area is known for its gentle rolling hills and quiet farmlands. The division's name reflects its geographical position within the island. Over time, local people have come to recognise this part as Middle due to its central placement. The boundaries that define Middle are marked by natural features like rivers and roads. The Isle of Man itself is a small island in the Irish Sea, home to diverse landscapes. People who live in Middle often refer to it with a sense of familiarity and belonging. The central region's name is a reflection of its location within the island, with all other regions lying around it. This central position has been observed and acknowledged over generations, passed down through local stories and histories. The term Middle has become ingrained in the local dialect, used casually to describe the area's location relative to others. The boundaries of Middle are not rigid, but rather implied by the landscape itself, with neighbours often referring to it as simply being in between. The Central Valley's name has evolved naturally over time, with locals simply referring to it as the heart of the island. This informal naming reflects their intimate connection to the land they inhabit. The absence of formal boundaries allows for a fluid understanding of the region's extent, shaped by everyday experiences and interactions. Over generations, the name Middle has organically become part of the local language, reflecting the shared experience of living in this central area. Middle Bay is located in New York, USA. This Middle Bay is just one of the many places named so around the world. It is a body of water known for its serene surface, reflecting the sky above. The name Middle was likely chosen to distinguish it from other nearby bays. Over time, the exact locations and measurements have been documented by cartographers and local residents. These records provide a clear picture of the geography, helping visitors find their way with ease. Its calm waters attract local wildlife, such as ducks and swans, which often gather at the bay's edge. The peaceful atmosphere of Middle Bay has become a favourite spot for early morning walks and evening strolls. The reflections on its surface change with the seasons, from the warm hues of fall to the icy tones of winter. The bay's tranquility is often captured in photographs by visitors, preserving memories of their time spent there. The bay's serenity creates a mirror-like surface that mirrors the sky and surrounding landscapes. The stillness of the water allows for undisturbed views of the reflected scenes. This calmness is maintained by the bay's shallow depth and lack of strong currents, which prevent waves from forming. Local knowledge and experience have shown that the best times to observe these reflections are during sunrise and sunset. The bay's quiet nature allows the calm reflections to continue uninterrupted throughout the day. Observing this effect has been possible through consistent visits and patient waiting. This tranquility has been appreciated by both locals and visitors who take the time to sit and watch. The subtle changes in light and weather further enhance these reflections, making each moment unique. Middle Brook flows through several states in the United States, a waterway that meanders across diverse landscapes. This stream is not unique. There are multiple locations around the world named Middle Brook. These brooks share a name, yet each is distinct, shaped by the local terrain and climate. People who live near these brooks might cross them daily, their paths worn smooth over time. The brooks themselves change gradually, eroding away at the earth over centuries. In some places, Middle Brook flows gently, reflecting the sky above. Elsewhere, it carves through rock, creating small waterfalls that shimmer in the sunlight. These brooks have been mapped by cartographers and explored by locals, their existence documented in various records. They are a part of the landscape, a familiar sight to those who live nearby. These brooks provide habitat for various wildlife, their waters supporting a rich ecosystem. Over time, the flow of Middle Brook has shaped the surrounding environment, creating unique features in the landscape. Local communities often rely on these brooks for water, using them for agriculture and other purposes. The study of these brooks helps scientists understand the processes that shape our world. These brooks have also inspired artists and poets, their beauty and tranquility captured in various forms of art. The slow pace of the water allows for careful observation and reflection by visitors. The presence of these brooks has encouraged conservation efforts to protect them from pollution and damage. Over time, the sediment carried by Middle Brook has helped to fertilize the surrounding soil. The song, The Middle, by Jimmy Eat World, was released in 2001, becoming a notable part of the band's discography. Formed in 1993 in Mesa, Arizona, Jimmy Eat World has since made their mark on American rock music. The song is nestled as the third track on their fourth album, Bleed American, which saw its release on July 24, 2001. This placement highlights its significance within the collection of songs. The album's title and release date are imprinted in musical history, reflecting the period when it first reached listeners' ears. Its lyrics speak to the universal experience of young adulthood, capturing the spirit of youth with lines like, "It just takes some time, little girl, you're in the middle of the ride." The song's resonance is such that it has become a staple at concerts and gatherings, uniting crowds in shared nostalgia. Its influence can be traced through cover versions and homages by other artists, demonstrating its enduring appeal across generations. The song's popularity is evident in its recurrent presence on playlists and radio stations worldwide. Its emotional impact draws listeners in with a relatable narrative of growth and change. The band's live performances showcase the song's ability to create a profound connection between audience members. Fans have shared stories online, recounting their personal experiences related to the lyrics. The melody of The Middle often brings back vivid memories for those who first heard it in their youth. The song's timeless message connects deeply with listeners, as they relate to the feelings of uncertainty and self-discovery described in its lyrics. This emotional bond has been documented through fan-created content, such as artwork and poetry. The impact of The Middle is not merely musical, it transcends into personal significance for many people around the globe. The song, The Middle, was written by Jim Adkins, Tom Linton, Zach Lind, and Rick Birch. It is a collaboration between 4 individuals, each bringing their own perspective to the creation of the song. The process of writing involves multiple drafts, often starting with lyrics and then adding music. These sessions can take place in a variety of settings, from quiet studios to bustling rehearsal spaces. Over time, the contributions of each member are layered together, resulting in a cohesive final piece. The completion of the song is marked by recording it, capturing the precise sounds and rhythms that have been crafted. This meticulous process allows the song to be shared widely with listeners who can appreciate the collective effort that went into its creation. The final product is the culmination of extensive refinement and experimentation, as each member explores different combinations of words and melodies. This iterative approach ensures that every aspect of the song is carefully considered and polished. The songwriting journey often begins with a simple idea or phrase, which is then built upon through repeated listening and adjustment. As the song progresses, it takes on a life of its own, evolving from initial concept to finished artifact. This collaborative method allows for a rich tapestry of ideas to be woven into the music. Each session is a building block, gradually constructing the final composition. The iterations help refine the song's identity, ensuring it reflects the collective vision. Through this process, every nuance is deliberate and intentional. The Middle Devonian period is an intermediate division between the Upper and Lower Devonian periods in geological time. This segment of history lies sandwiched between 2 larger epochs, like a quiet layer of sediment nestled between more tumultuous strata. Its borders are defined by subtle shifts in the fossil record, tiny changes that only careful observation can reveal. Rock formations from this era tell stories of the world as it was then, slowly building their narrative over countless millennia. Geologists study these layers, gently teasing apart their secrets to uncover the story of our planet's past. Each stratum contains fossils that serve as silent witnesses to the climate and ecosystems of their time. Patient analysis reveals minute variations in these remnants, hinting at gradual environmental changes. The careful process of stratigraphy allows scientists to reconstruct the sequence of events that shaped our world. Through painstaking comparison with other geological records, patterns emerge, weaving together a tapestry of Earth's history. These fossil records provide a glimpse into the long-term evolution of life on Earth. Each stratum's unique composition offers insights into ancient habitats and ecosystems. The slow, methodical work of geologists deciphers these clues. Comparative analysis across various sites refines our understanding of global changes. These fossilized remnants are often fragmented and incomplete, requiring meticulous reconstruction to reveal their original forms. Subtle color variations within the rock layers indicate ancient shifts in ocean chemistry. The precise identification of microscopic fossils, such as foraminifera and radiolarians, aids in determining the age and environment of each stratum. Cross-referencing these findings with paleoclimate data helps establish correlations across distant regions. In the year 793, the Vikings began their raids on English monasteries with Lindisfarne. This marked a significant shift in history, signalling the start of the Viking Age. The raid on Lindisfarne was not an isolated incident, but rather the first of many attacks that would span centuries. The Viking Age lasted from the late 8th century to the mid-11th century, a period defined by the Norsemen's expansion and conquest. These raids were brutal, with the Vikings showing no mercy as they plundered monasteries and villages across England. The attack on Lindisfarne is well documented in historical accounts, providing insight into the violent nature of Viking raids. This event set the stage for what would become a prolonged period of Viking dominance in Europe. The Vikings' swift and ruthless attacks disrupted the peaceful lives of the local inhabitants, leaving behind a trail of devastation. Their advanced shipbuilding techniques and navigational skills allowed them to traverse vast distances, surprising coastal communities with their raids. Historical records, such as the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle, capture the details of these invasions, preserving the memory of the Viking Age for future generations. The Vikings' raids not only brought plunder, but also instilled fear in the hearts of those they encountered. Their sudden appearances from the sea made coastal communities particularly vulnerable, with little time to prepare for defense. The impact of these invasions was profound, leading to significant changes in the political and social structures of affected regions. As the Vikings settled in new lands, their cultural influence became deeply ingrained, shaping the historical landscape for generations. The Silk Road facilitated trade between Europe, Asia, and Africa during the Middle Ages. Over vast distances, goods were transported by land and sea, traversing deserts, mountains, and plains. Traders carried spices from India, silks from China, and precious metals from Africa. Goods changed hands at bustling marketplaces, where languages and cultures mingled. Trade routes brought new ideas and technologies alongside tangible goods, shaping societies and economies. This intricate network of paths was recorded in historical accounts and maps, illustrating the global connectivity of the medieval world. The Silk Road's impact is seen today in the echoes of shared history and trade remnants found in various corners of the globe. It took months to travel from one end of the Silk Road to the other, traversing harsh landscapes and unpredictable weather. Along the journey, caravans were organized for safety, with traders sharing resources and knowledge. Merchants learned local languages and customs to facilitate transactions. The remnants of this ancient trade route are seen in archaeological finds like pottery shards, coins, and textiles discovered along its paths. The Silk Road's influence lingers in the architectural styles and culinary practices that emerged along its course. Trade brought seeds and plants that altered local diets and farming methods. The route's significance is discerned from remnants like ancient cities and fortifications built to protect traders. Historical documents from travelers detailing their experiences offer insights into the Silk Road's operations. Traders also exchanged manuscripts and knowledge of science and philosophy, seeding intellectual growth across cultures. Over time, the Silk Road evolved with new branches and routes, responding to shifts in power and demand. Remnants of trading posts and rest houses along the path provide tangible evidence of its extensive use. Scholars decipher ancient maps and texts to reconstruct the network's complex history. The Middle Peninsula in Chesapeake Bay, Virginia, is a distinct region. It stretches out into the water, separating it from the mainland. The peninsula is known for its unique landscape, shaped by the tides and winds over time. Its borders are marked by the waters of the bay on one side and the Rappahannock River on the other. People have traveled to this peninsula for generations, drawn to its natural beauty and resources. The peninsula's distinctness is evident in its geological formations, created by the steady erosion of water and wind. Its isolation has allowed various plant and animal species to thrive here undisturbed. This region has been studied and documented over the years, with researchers noting the specific characteristics that set it apart. This peninsula's shape and contours reflect the relentless power of nature over time, creating a sanctuary where both land and marine life coexist harmoniously. The gradual changes have been meticulously observed through scientific studies, offering insights into the dynamic processes that sculpt the Earth. The unique blend of saltwater and freshwater environments has fostered a rich biodiversity, making it an invaluable ecosystem to preserve. The subtle shifts in terrain over centuries highlight the constant interplay between geological forces and biological adaptation. The peninsula's slow evolution is seen in the layered sediments that build up over millennia, each layer telling a story of the past. This process, known as deposition, is driven by the constant movement of water and wind. Observations from satellite imagery have tracked these gradual changes over decades, providing a bird's-eye view of nature's patient handiwork. The Xueshan Range on Taiwan Island was once called the Middle Range, indicating its central location within the island's geography. This name reflects the position of the range as a dividing line between the eastern and western regions of Taiwan. The range runs north to south, stretching across the island's width, creating a natural barrier that shapes the flow of water and influences the climate on either side. Historical documents and maps from early explorers have helped preserve this knowledge of the range's original name, allowing us to understand its significance in Taiwanese history. The range's peaks are visible from both sides of the island, their silhouettes a familiar sight for locals who have lived with them as a constant presence throughout generations. This central position also determines the distribution of rainfall, with the western side typically drier due to the range blocking moist air from the east. The mountain's endurance over time has allowed for diverse ecosystems to develop on either slope, each adapted to its unique climate. Indigenous tribes have passed down stories and knowledge about these peaks through oral traditions, further enriching our understanding of their role in shaping Taiwan's landscape. The Xueshan Range serves as a natural water divider, redirecting rainfall patterns and creating distinct environments on either side. Its height and width intercept moist winds from the Pacific Ocean, casting a shadow over the western region that results in less precipitation. Local weather observations and meteorological studies have provided insights into this phenomenon, confirming the range's impact on local climate. The varied elevations and slopes of these mountains support a rich biosphere, hosting numerous plant and animal species that thrive in different conditions. Middle Rocks are two rocks at the eastern opening of the Straits of Singapore. These rocks, solid and unyielding, stand sentinel where the calm waters of the strait meet the vast ocean beyond. Over time, the rocks have been shaped by the relentless tide, their surfaces smoothed by countless waves. The rocks are not merely passive observers, they play a role in guiding ships safely through the strait. Mariners, over generations, have come to know these rocks intimately, marking them on charts and navigating by their silent presence. At dawn, the sunlight dances gently on the rocky surfaces, casting soft shadows that dance with the rhythm of the sea. The rocks remain steadfast, bearing witness to the ebb and flow of history in this strategic waterway. The rocks' positions have been precisely calculated and recorded in navigational databases, ensuring safe passage for vessels of all sizes. Sailors rely on these accurate measurements to avoid the treacherous shallows and maintain a clear course through the strait. The steady presence of Middle Rocks has facilitated the growth of maritime trade in the region, fostering economic ties that span centuries. Their enduring role as natural navigational aids underscores the profound connection between land and sea in this dynamic waterway. The rocks serve as a silent beacon, guiding mariners through the unpredictable currents of the strait. Their stable position amidst the ever-changing waters offers a consistent point of reference for navigation. This knowledge has been passed down from one generation to the next, ensuring that each new sailor is familiar with their form and placement. Over time, the collective wisdom of countless voyages has confirmed the reliability of these natural landmarks. The song, The Middle, was released as part of the album Bleed American. This album, named after a phrase on a t-shirt that read, "Bleed American," came out in 2001. It was the fifth studio album by Jimmy Eat World, a band from Arizona. The physical CDs had a clear jewel case with a red insert and liner notes detailing each song's creation. The middle was track number 4 on the album. Fans first heard it when the album dropped, playing on their stereos and Walkmans, feeling its rhythm resonate in their bedrooms. Its melody and lyrics echoed through dorm rooms and college campuses, becoming an unofficial anthem of youth. The album's cover art featured a simple white flag on a red background, contrasting with the vibrant songs inside. Fans often shared stories about their first time hearing The Middle, some remembering it as a pivotal moment in their lives. A VHS tape containing the music video circulated among friends, spreading the song's impact even further. The song's lyrics, speaking to the universal feelings of adolescence, resonated deeply with listeners who found solace in its words. Its upbeat tempo and catchy chorus made it a staple at high school dances and gatherings. The music video, featuring the band performing in a warehouse, further cemented its cultural relevance. This timeless track continues to be enjoyed by new generations of fans who discover it through various platforms. The song's nostalgic vibe has made it a favourite at reunions and throwback events, where old friends often sing along to every word. Its appeal lies in its simplicity, with straightforward lyrics that speak directly to everyday experiences of growing up. This insight was gained through interviews with fans who detailed the song's personal significance. The band's openness about their own experiences has also contributed to the song's enduring popularity. In the 14th century, an English Franciscan friar named William of Ockham developed a principle known as Occam's razor. This principle suggests that when faced with competing explanations for a phenomenon, it is best to choose the simplest one. The idea behind this is that simplicity often indicates a lack of unnecessary complications. In the quiet of his study, William likely pondered over various problems, seeking their most fundamental causes. His approach was not to multiply assumptions, but rather to trim away excess. This method has since been adopted by many fields, including philosophy and science, as a guiding principle for clearer thinking. The concept is simple yet profound. If there are multiple explanations for something, choose the one that requires the fewest assumptions. By removing unnecessary elements, Occam's razor allows for more efficient problem solving. It serves as a tool to keep theories concise and focused on what truly matters. By favouring simplicity, one avoids the risk of overcomplication, which can cloud understanding and hinder progress. This preference for parsimony has been observed in nature as well, where simple solutions often prevail due to their efficiency. The application of Occam's razor has been refined through centuries of practical use, demonstrating its enduring relevance across diverse disciplines. Simplicity is key in many scenarios because it allows for easier understanding and communication of ideas. Overly complex explanations can confuse and distract from the core essence of a problem. This principle was learned through careful observation and logical reasoning, demonstrating that straightforward solutions are often the most effective. Occam's razor states that simpler solutions are more likely to be correct than complex ones. This principle, developed in the Middle Ages by William of Ockham, suggests that when presented with competing theories, the one with the fewest assumptions is probably closer to reality. It is a way to avoid unnecessary complexity, guiding thinkers towards parsimony or simplicity. By shaving off excess hypotheses, like a razor trimming hair, one arrives at a more refined understanding of the world. The concept resonated with scholars and became a cornerstone in the philosophy of science. Its elegance lies in its straightforward approach to problem solving, making it a timeless tool for those seeking clarity amidst complexity. It helps prevent overcomplication by encouraging a minimalist approach to explanations. This focus on simplicity avoids the pitfall of unnecessary elaboration. It emphasizes that fewer assumptions mean less room for error. Its enduring relevance stems from its practical applicability across various disciplines. It serves as a guard against speculative hypotheses that add little to our comprehension of the world. The principle is particularly useful in fields where data can be scarce or uncertain, steering researchers towards more reliable conclusions. Its adoption has been gradual, with each generation of thinkers refining and applying it further. It promotes a mindset that values precision over grandeur, ensuring that our explanations remain grounded in what we know. It discourages the addition of extra hypotheses that don't significantly advance our understanding. It reminds us to focus on what is essential and discard the superfluous. This principle helps in creating clearer, more testable theories. By adhering to it, we can better navigate the complexities of the natural world. Occam's razor was first described in his work, Summa Totius Logices, published around 1320-1323. This principle encourages simplicity when approaching problems, favoring explanations that require the fewest assumptions. In the quiet of medieval libraries, scholars pored over parchments, seeking to understand complex ideas with clarity and precision. The words "entia non sunt multiplicanda, praeter necessitatem" echoed through these halls, reminding them to avoid unnecessary complexity. Slowly, over time, these ideas spread, influencing generations of thinkers who valued straightforward explanations. The concept was born from a desire to cut through the clutter of competing theories, providing a sharp tool for clarity and understanding. It served as a guidepost for logical reasoning in an era steeped in philosophical debate. Occam's razor advocates for the simplest explanation that fits the evidence at hand. This preference stems from the belief that nature does not introduce unnecessary complexity. It was through rigorous examination of natural phenomena and logical deductions that this notion was solidified in scholarly thought. Applying Occam's razor in problem solving involves eliminating unnecessary assumptions that do not contribute to the explanation. This principle is rooted in the observation that simpler explanations are often more reliable and easier to test. Through repeated experiments and observations, scholars learn to prefer straightforward theories over complex ones. The adoption of this principle in scientific methodology highlights its enduring value. The simplest explanation is favoured because it reduces the risk of error and enhances predictability. Simplicity in explanations allows for clearer communication among scholars, ensuring consistent understanding across disciplines. By avoiding superfluous details, one can focus on the core elements that drive the phenomenon being studied. This commitment to simplicity has led to numerous breakthroughs in various fields, as it enables researchers to pinpoint the essence of a problem more effectively. The scholastic method was first systematically applied in the works of Peter Abelard in the 12th century. This approach to learning emphasized logical reasoning and debate, a significant departure from earlier methods that relied heavily on authority figures. Abelard's writings introduced a new way of thinking, one that encouraged questioning and critical thought. His ideas began to spread throughout Europe, finding their way into universities and scholarly circles. The method was adopted by those who sought a deeper understanding of philosophy and theology. It involved the careful examination of texts and the rigorous application of logical principles. Over time, this new approach transformed the landscape of medieval education, leading to a more intellectual and analytical approach to learning. This method allowed students to dissect arguments and challenge established doctrines, fostering a climate of intellectual curiosity. The emphasis on logical reasoning enabled learners to evaluate evidence independently, without relying solely on the teachings of religious leaders or ancient authorities. This shift marked a significant step towards academic freedom and independent thought within educational institutions. By promoting debate and questioning, it also encouraged a diversity of perspectives, enriching the collective understanding of complex philosophical and theological concepts. This shift in educational approach empowered students to analyze texts critically rather than passively accepting their content. It fostered an environment where ideas were evaluated based on their merit, not their source. Gradually, this new method became integral to academic discourse, shaping how knowledge was both acquired and disseminated. The ability to think independently and engage in intellectual debates became highly valued skills within learning communities. Middle English is a historical stage of the English language from around 1150 to 1470. This period, known in linguistics as Middle English, bridges the gap between Old and New or Modern English. Over time, the language evolved, adapting to changes in society and culture. Scholars have studied manuscripts and documents from this era to understand its development. The transition from Old to Middle English was gradual, reflecting the natural progression of language over centuries. During this period, the written word became more accessible, with text being copied and circulated among readers. This shift in language usage marked a significant change in how people communicated and expressed ideas. It is through careful analysis of historical texts that we gain insight into the evolution of Middle English. The language's vocabulary expanded with the introduction of new words from other languages, like French and Latin. The spelling system also saw changes, moving away from Old English conventions towards a more recognizable form. Through the study of these texts, scholars have identified regional variations in Middle English, reflecting the diverse dialects spoken across the country. This transformation can be observed in the shift from using the letters and, the to the modern th. The evolution of pronunciation also played a role, with vowel sounds becoming more distinct. Scribes and clerics were crucial in documenting these alterations, preserving them for future generations. The written record of Middle English provides a tangible link to the past, allowing scholars to observe how language has transformed over time. Manuscripts and documents from this period serve as primary sources for linguistic study, offering direct evidence of the evolution taking place. The changes in spelling and pronunciation indicate a shift in phonetic awareness among scribes and speakers alike, reflecting an internalization of new language norms. The preservation of these texts highlights the significance of written records in tracing the historical development of English. There are multiple locations named Middle Creek around the world. This means you can find streams with this name in various parts of the globe, each with its unique landscape and local history. People have given these creeks the same name due to their geographical features or historical events that occurred nearby. Over time, as settlers explored different regions, they noted similarities among these waterways and recorded their discoveries. The act of naming these creeks has helped people distinguish between places and remember their characteristics. Each Middle Creek carries its own story, shaped by the environment and the people who live nearby. Each Middle Creek's identity is influenced by local flora and fauna, weather patterns, and the cultural practices of its inhabitants. Geologists and historians study these creeks to understand how landscapes evolve over time. By comparing different Middle Creeks, scientists can learn about the natural world's diversity and resilience. This knowledge helps preserve and protect these vital waterways for future generations. These shared names serve as a reminder of the interconnectedness of natural environments and human history. By exploring and documenting these locations, we gain insights into how waterways shape and are shaped by their surroundings. This understanding is crucial for conserving biodiversity and maintaining ecosystem balance. Through continued study and comparison, we deepen our appreciation for both the uniqueness and commonality of these natural features. The name Middle Creek signifies a central position within a larger geographical area. This naming convention reflects the creek's role as a meeting point or midway marker for travelers and settlers. Over centuries, these waterways have become integral parts of local folklore and lore, with stories passed down through generations. As exploration techniques advanced, so did our understanding of these creeks' roles in their respective ecosystems. The scholastic method emphasized the use of reason and logic in understanding natural phenomena. This approach encouraged a systematic exploration of the world, relying on observation and analysis to uncover its secrets. In quiet stone halls, scholars pored over ancient texts, comparing their teachings with what could be seen through the small windows, letting in thin shafts of light. They debated in hushed tones, using arguments to build a structure of understanding that reached towards the heavens. Over time, these reasoned discussions refined their methods, weeding out superstition and error. They traced the paths of celestial bodies, measured the shadows cast by sundials, and scrutinized the intricate patterns of leaves and flowers. Each discovery was a small step forward, illuminating the path towards a more comprehensive grasp of nature's workings. This methodical pursuit of knowledge laid the foundation for future scientific inquiry, guiding generations to follow in their logical footsteps. These scholars meticulously documented their findings in detailed manuscripts, preserving knowledge for future study. Through experimentation and reproducibility, they ensured that their conclusions were reliable and could be verified by others. Their approach valued skepticism as a means of refining ideas, welcoming challenges to established theories. This rigorous process fostered an environment where intellectual growth was continuous and collaborative. Their careful observations and detailed notes allowed others to verify and build upon their work. By questioning existing knowledge, they uncovered hidden truths within the natural world. Through constant dialogue and debate, ideas evolved and strengthened. This shared pursuit of understanding created a collective wisdom that endured over time. Nicolas Resmay's Livre du ciel et du monde included a geometric representation of uniformly accelerated motion, predating Galileo's work by over 2 centuries. In the pages of this book, lines and shapes illustrated how objects move not at constant speed, but with a steadily increasing pace. This representation was more than just theoretical. It described real motions that could be seen in daily life. Perhaps the slow descent of a stone or the quickening fall of raindrops showed this acceleration. Over time, thinkers like Resmay studied these movements, capturing them not with words alone, but with precise drawings and calculations. These drawings showed how speed changes over time, not in a sudden jump, but in a smooth, gradual way. They demonstrated that acceleration happens bit by bit, like water dripping from a leaky faucet. By measuring and drawing these changes, scholars could predict how far an object would travel given a certain amount of time. This understanding helped them grasp the nature of motion more deeply. This geometric approach allowed scholars to visualize the invisible, making the abstract concept of acceleration tangible through lines on a page. Each curve represented not just an idea, but a pattern observed in nature. By tracing these paths with careful hands and keen eyes, they unraveled the secrets of motion hidden within everyday sights like falling leaves or rolling balls. The lines on the page demonstrated how an object's speed can change evenly over time, unlike a sudden burst of speed or a gradual decline. This careful observation showed that objects do not move in straight lines, but along paths that curve gently as they accelerate. These drawn paths also revealed that different objects may have unique acceleration patterns, dependent on factors like their weight and shape. By analyzing these curves, scholars could begin to understand how forces influence an object's motion. The Carolingian Empire broke up into smaller kingdoms in the 9th century CE. As power shifted, borders slowly redrew themselves across the landscape like ink on parchment under a quill. People watched from their villages and castles as new rulers emerged, their influence rippling outward. Fealty changed hands, as did lands and titles. The once unified empire fragmented, each kingdom now standing alone, governed by its own king. This transformation was gradual, shaped by the ebb and flow of political alliances and personal ambitions. It would take centuries for historians to piece together the full story, poring over ancient documents and artifacts in the dim light of monastic libraries. Over time, the map of Europe shifted and morphed, with kingdoms expanding and contracting like the rhythmic breath of a sleeping giant. The new boundaries were marked not by walls or forts, but by subtle shifts in culture, language, and custom. Letters and accounts from monks and scholars captured glimpses of this metamorphosis, providing fragmented yet vital records of the changing landscape. The gradual nature of these transformations made them almost imperceptible to those living through them, like a slow-moving tide that only reveals its force upon reflection. The transitions were often peaceful, marked by the exchange of gifts and promises rather than bloodshed. Monastic scribes, diligently copying manuscripts, unknowingly preserved traces of these changes in their marginalia. The transformation was felt in everyday life, from the local markets where new goods began to appear, to the churches that slowly adapted regional traditions into their rituals. And that is where we will leave Middle Ages for tonight. The facts will still be true tomorrow, and this video will still be here whenever you need it. Sleep well.